Hi everybody, it's April. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I am going to make some cards today using the Hero Arts Origami Happy Holidays set. And this will be the start of my Christmas card series. I'm going to attempt to do 12 days of Christmas. So just, hang in there. Hopefully I'll get 12 cards done. So I wanted to share with you what I created using this set. I picked this up a few months ago, so it should still be in stock or available. I'll link Hero Arts down below. Also, I took some scraps on my paper and just decided sometimes when I just need a way to get inspired, I'll go ahead and cut a bunch of things out, stamp a bunch of things out, and have them ready on my desk, and then I'll go from there and put things together. And that's kind of how the ideas come to me as I have the images right in front of my face. So that particular die there with the big rounded hill is from this set by Tim Holtz. You can find it at Hobby Lobby. If not, I will link an Etsy store below. She may have it in her store. She tends to carry a lot of the box store items, and so in case you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you. The rest of those snowbanks we're using Simon Says Stamp Stitched Landscapes. This acrylic block I found at Dollar Tree, and it worked great. So I wanted to share that as well. In case you guys are in a Dollar Tree, you may find this. The deer didn't stamp too well. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It didn't stamp too well, so then I decided to go ahead and stamp off all of my images just to prep them, just to get a better quality image when I stamp. The paper that I'm using, I believe, is either Michaels or Georgia Pacific, so it's not a really great quality cardstock. Normally, I don't have problems with my Michaels 110-pound white cardstock, but this one was a little tricky, so it may be Georgia Pacific. Regardless, with any kind of cardstock that you have, just keep in mind that the better the quality of cardstock, the better quality images you'll get when you're coloring. I am going to use Spectrum Noir markers, and I'll go over some tips with you as we do that. So I wanted to share first and foremost, when you're purchasing these markers at Joann's, look at the barrel shape. That one there, this is an old first original. The top marker is the current one that you'll find. With these older ones, if you see them in the store, they may be dry because they are old. So keep that in mind. Here are the colors I've chosen. 2 markers per type of color. For the most part, just using 1 to 2 markers, on the reds. That's my favorite red combo. And then, of course, I'll use more on the IG, the cool grays, just because I want to get a black color. So you'll just build up your shading on that. So I'm going to start out with these 2 characters. And my idea was that the star would be above them, so the light would be shining on the top to inner part of these animals. So I'll go through and use, like I said, with the cool gray markers, I'll go through, excuse me, I will go through and just kind of go back and forth with the IG color shades to get some shadows above and below his wing, a little bit of shadow on the back of his chest, so the front of his chest looks like it's highlighted. These little nooks and crannies under the folds, that would be his neck. And again, at the end, I'll just go back and add one last line of IG8, which will be my darkest shade, to make sure I have the definition and contrast around that wing. So as I go through these coloring images, I wanted to share also that the paper can make a difference with these markers because of the way the ink wicks out very quickly with Spectrum Noir. I'll turn my marker straight up or lean it to the side so I'm away from the stamp line. So I'm coloring on the very inside edge of that stamped line, and that sometimes helps me to prevent the bleeding over the colored lines. You'll see, however, that if I go over the lines, I'll just take a white Jelly Roll pen and clean that up so I have nice clean edges. But don't get discouraged if that happens. Again, just remember that you want to kind of take it slow when you're coloring with these markers, because they do just really let out a lot of fluid onto the paper. And then, of course, your quality of paper will make a difference, because the cheaper brands are really going to be absorbent, and that's what you'll find on this one here. It's really sucking in that ink from the marker. If I were to flip this over, you would see that it's bled through all the way to my pad underneath. So with the penguin, I just decided to color him all one shade and just again add some shadow marks under and above his wing. And then I'll do his beak with a little bit of orange, a GB5 that I didn't mention. And then also I'll go in with the same color yellow that I'm going to be adding into the star, just so it kind of coordinates. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. So here's the last darkest marker I'm using. I'm going to color all these images pretty much the same way as I just did this penguin. So I'm going to speed up the process, or I'm actually already speeding up the process here, but I will add some music and let you just enjoy watching me color. If you have any questions about anything in the video, please feel free to leave a comment. Also, I wanted to thank you all so much for 500 subscribers. I had mentioned I was going to do a giveaway when I got back from Florida. So if you'd like to enter my giveaway, then just please leave a comment under this video letting me know what your plans are for the holiday, and that will enter you into my 500 subscriber giveaway. Winners will be announced on Monday, actually, because I'd like to get these things. I have 5 stamp and die sets that will be available to win, and I will share the winners on Monday so I can get these things mailed out to the winners and you can use them for Christmas. They are all holiday stamp and die sets. So anyhow, if you're on Instagram, I'll post a little image of the stamps that will be available to win. So don't forget to leave a message down below to enter the giveaway. So here's some music I'm going to play, and I'll talk to you when I get done. Thanks so much. Okay. I finish off this cardinal, I just wanted to let you know that I kind of had a typical April moment when I was creating the cards with these characters. So at the end of the video, there'll be some still shots. Just stay tuned for that so you can see how they actually turned out. It's a little bit different than the scene that you're seeing here. So I just wanted to make a note of that. You're not going crazy. The card bases did change and the characters changed. This is a watercolor background that I made using Distress Oxide. So I just splattered and smushed and then used that Gansai Tambi pearlescent watercolor set to splatter some dots all over that one. This is a paper pad that I got at Michael's. I found both of these on the Hot Buy sale when they were 70% off, probably about a month ago. And I just went through it quickly. This is like a traditional red and green. This one here is the blue and silvers, really soft colors. And I just selected a few things that I liked out of each pad and used those on these cards. So I'll show you that. There was the blue wood grain with stars pattern that I liked. Just really lovely. I think this one's my favorite here, this pad. But lovely papers. So I used the paper there for the cardinal, the background plaid, and then the red dots, the red and white dots on the front with a scallop circle die. On the deer, I used the paper pad from the blue and silver. I grabbed some papers from that set. This one is another watercolor Distress Oxide background that I made, and again sprinkling some of that Gansai Tambi paint on it. So I also cut some sentiments from that paper pad line. So on those two cards there, the sentiments actually are part of a border strip. And I did fix my Glue Glider Pro. I wanted to share that with you. If you saw in my Hero Arts video, the whole roll just unraveled. I found out my husband and son had been playing with it and somehow they messed it up. But so it's fine. I just went ahead and pre-cut all of these things, by the way, with the, I think it's MFT, just basic rectangular die with stitch lines. And then I lined up the snowbanks along with that so the stitch lines would actually line up. I did that on all of the, cards and panels that I had in front of me. But again, the card bases that I was working with, they were the wrong size. So in the end, I had to change card bases. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop some things up. I'll tape some things flat to the card. And that's really about it. Again, I didn't wind up using the original plan of the 4 cards. It turned into 3 cards, and I'll have the still shots of those at the end. But thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment to enter my 500 subscriber giveaway. And I just really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all of my new subscribers as well. And you guys just really mean a lot to me. So I don't want you to ever think that I don't care, because I do. And you inspire me just as much. I appreciate your time you take watching my channel too. So here is the first card. I ultimately added the fox on this scene. I totally forgot that I colored the deer and his antlers red. But here's a lawn fawn, make a bow of it or something die that I had. That was kind of tricky working with that, but I put that on the front of a top folding A2 size card. That's 5.5 by 4.25. Here is the Merry and Bright sentiment with the fox and the penguin. And I did go back and add embellishments, nuvo drops, and some clear droplets onto these cards. So here's how the little deer came out using all the trees. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon on Monday.